Now that we know the style sheet is working, the next thing we're going to do is head into the script.js. All we're going to do here is we're going to console.log connected to the HTML sheet from the script. Just console.log this so that you know if this gets logged to the console that our JavaScript file is linked into the HTML sheet. Now right now we haven't actually linked it. We're going to do that in a second, but make sure you console.log. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what you say in here. Just go with connected if you want. Make this easier on yourself, less typing. Type in connected. But to make sure that this is loaded into your HTML page, in your index.html at the very bottom of the body, you're going to include a script tag that has a source equal to script.js. Everybody cool with that? And if you save this, this line on line 10 right here is linking all of the code in your script.js file into the bottom of this HTML file, which means it'll first load all of the styles. Then it'll load everything inside the body, all of the HTML. And as soon as all of the HTML is loaded, it will load all the JavaScript. There is a reason we do it like this. We put the style in the head, then all of the HTML in the body, and then the JavaScript at the bottom. JavaScript takes a long time to load. And so whenever you click refresh on a page, and it loads all the JavaScript on that page, if you load your JavaScript first and there's a lot of JavaScript, your page will load really slow. And people who come to a page that loads really slow will not like it, and they will leave. I'm sure you guys know this. If you load up a page and it's not working, and it takes too long, you just exit out. You're like, I'm bored. I'm not dealing with this. That's life. That's how we do. So there's a reason why we put them in the order we put them in. And it's for that reason mostly. Now once you've got that working, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to head to your HTML page and make sure you can inspect element here. Or go into the developer console. I'm just going to put this at the bottom. And head to your console. When you click refresh, you should see connected appear in your console. If it does, you're good. What does it say it failed to load?
Refresh the server responded with a status of 404.
For what? Fab icon?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about the fab icon. That refers to this thing up here. You see this thing? That little page? You see how most pages have like a weird little icon up there? We call that the fab icon. So occasionally you'll see a little like, did not load the fab icon because we don't have one here. We didn't specify what fab icon to load up at the top up here. Now we can do that later. I'll show you how to load fab icons. They're kind of cool. You can put whatever one you want up there, but for the time being, we don't have one, so occasionally you will get that error. Don't worry, it's not a problem. Is that cool? Great. So we have a page. All this is an HTML page. Now, I want to cover two things. The first is what happens when you click on a link or type something into your web browser. For instance, if I go to www, if I go to Google really quickly, and I go down here to www.youtube.com and I hit enter, what happens? What does it mean when it takes you to YouTube? That's correct, but what does it actually mean? So I'm going to hit enter right now, and I want to cover a few things. When I hit enter like this, and I go to this YouTube link, and I click that link, and it goes to https://www.youtube.com, what is actually happening? Okay. Who is telling who what? And this is the important part that we're going to cover in today's lesson about HTTP. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTP. If you just type in HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, it says here, and this is a little bit confusing, HTTP is the underlying protocol used by the World Wide Web, and this protocol defines how messages are formatted and transmitted and what actions web servers and browsers should take in response to various commands. There's a ton of words in there that we need to dissect. But essentially what you need to know is that HTTP is a protocol. Remind me what a protocol is again. It's a set of rules and instructions. HTTP is the set of rules and instructions by which most computers communicate with each other over the internet. Now, HTTP has these things that we're going to go over today called HTTP methods. HTTP methods. HTTP request methods are ways in which computers know how to respond to a certain set of commands. So each action you take on the internet usually uses an HTTP request method to execute that instruction. For instance, GET requests, POST requests, PUT requests, DELETE requests, and options requests, the ones we're going to cover. But really the only ones that really matter that you really need to know are GET requests and POST requests. We're going to use both of them right now. In fact, when you click right here and you go www.youtube.com, that issues a GET request. A GET request to YouTube's servers. YouTube sends you back all the code, and that code is loaded into your browser. And you can actually watch it happen. Here's what you do. Inspect Element on YouTube, and click on that tab that says Network. Everybody see that right there? Go ahead and click on that really quickly. I want you all to do this. Now, once you've done that, once you've gone to the Network tab, you'll see that there's all this stuff down here. When you go to YouTube, you see all these things? Now, I want everybody right now to hit Command R or click the refresh button up here. If you do that, watch what happens. Are you ready? I'm going to refresh, and you'll see all of this stuff happening here. Now, this actually gives you a time frame of what things are being sent to your browser and when. So at each one of these points here, this request, this GET request, hit the YouTube servers, and YouTube sent back all of these files and resources. It sent back a ton of JPEGs. What kind of things are JPEGs? Images. If I go to all, you'll see that it sent back a document. This document right here is the HTML document. Well, probably. Each of these documents specifies exactly what file should be loaded or rendered in your browser. So you can see it sent back a script, a JavaScript file, to help load a bunch of the YouTube resources. It sent youtube.com, the actual web page itself. It sent a bunch of images. It sent a bunch more scripts, JavaScript. It sent a bunch of style sheets, which are CSS styles, probably. More fonts, scripts, and all this stuff here. So you can see that like most of what happens is that YouTube servers send all these files to your computer. Your computer gets all those files, and your browser, Google Chrome in this case, does what's known as rendering. It renders all of that stuff into a single web page. Browsers are really good at rendering. They know how to take a bunch of files and turn it into a single web page that you can interact with. That's actually what happens behind the scenes. And so we're going to cover in more detail today how we use HTTP requests to access resources on the internet. Is that cool with you guys? Great. So let's do it. Let's start building our page again. You ready? The first thing I want you to do is, actually, I'm gonna pause the video. We're doing the next video.